Like notes through the hourglass, these are the songs of our lives. Hello and welcome to episode number 29 of Songs of Our Lives. I am Brad Rose. I am a musician, a composer, a writer, the founder of Foxy, Digitalis, and somebody who thinks about music and sound far more than is healthy. Each week, I invite on a guest and we talk about the songs and the music that have been with them along their way. I think that's one way to put it. Past guests have included Claire Rousset, Martina Roberts, Rosalie, Robert Akiabrilo. The list goes on. But this week, I still kind of have to pinch myself because I can't believe that this week I got to have JLIN on the show. I'm a huge fan. Everybody should be a huge fan. But this one was a lot of fun. We had some technical difficulties, so about a couple minutes into the interview, you will notice that the audio changes a little bit, but we worked through it. It sounds fine. I don't think you're going to have an issue with it, but just wanted to point that out. But anyway, JLIN's new album, Akoma, is out now on Planet Mu, and she's got a bunch of European tour dates coming up. It is easily one of my favorite albums of the year. It's one that, it's funny, when I first heard it, I liked it right off the bat, but I kept wanting to go back to it. I kept feeling like I was missing something, or like there was more to, I was gonna say more to meets the eye, but that doesn't make sense. More to meets the ear, that sounds weird. But it's like one of these records where there's so much to it because I have so much admiration for how she writes music and how she approaches things. And every time I listen to it, I get something new from it. I feel like I learn something else. I feel something else. It's an incredible record. And if you get the opportunity to go see her, I imagine that's freaking amazing too. But yeah, I was so excited that this actually came together and we made it work. So yeah, we recorded this a couple weeks ago and had a lot of fun, and I hope you all enjoy it as much as I did. My guest today is a musician, a producer, a composer, a DJ, and so much more. Welcome to the show, JLIN. So your new record is out on March 22nd, which is a couple days from now as we record. How's it feel to finally get it out in the world?
Feels good. It feels good. Must say, yeah. It's nice to, get it out. There's a lot going. But yeah.
One of the questions that I wanted to ask about this is maybe like super specific, but or maybe not specific. I don't know. So something I think about a lot with my own music and just with music in general and with albums, because I'm very much like an album person, less than maybe a track person or a song person, which is kind of funny considering the name of this podcast. But I always think about like sequencing and like the sort of flow and like narrative of a record. Is that like a thing you think about a lot? Because I feel like the sequencing on this record is so good.
Oh, thank you. I don't know. I always create from a blank canvas. So I'm not per se thinking about the sequencing because I don't know what it's going to sound like. I never think.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm just I'm an intuitive creator. So I'm not a technicalities or a technical. So it's really by feel. So, but I'm never thinking about this sequence of that. I don't think about it in that way. I do definitely sequence, as you can hear in my music because it's very layered, but it's not something that is like in my forethought, like what is this sequence going to be? Or that I even have one in mind because I'm just usually as surprised as the person listening. Yeah.
Is so like when you are like once you've, I don't know, record, like you have all these songs,
Mhm.
and is like when you're putting together, like, okay, this is the order of it, is it just like you said, it's like an intuitive thing, like this feels like the right order of these songs?
Yeah, and my me and Mike Paradinas, who is the my label president of Planet Moo, we sit down and we figure out, an order for the record. Sometimes, he'll have an order, and I may have an order, feel like, it should go another way or whatever. We just till we
Hmm.
figure it out. Mhm.
Yeah, one of my favorite sections is challenge and I am, like that, sort of those two back to back, especially like the marching band influence on challenge is one of my favorite things I've heard like all year. I love it so much. um I'm curious, like, are those recordings of actual marching bands, or was that something you totally recreated, kind of using samples and
Yeah, I do the notation to all my music. None of those are loops. I don't loop. That's all notation by me, all
oh wow.
single notations. So I love percussion and understand it a great deal. Marching band being one of my favorite things. Um, I love HBCU marching bands a lot. Have a lot of respect for them. And my mother graduated from an HBCU. She graduated from Spelman, so she used to tell
Wow.
me about going to the games, yeah, and doing all her when she was in college and the marching band experiences. And so her stories, I was always so fascinated by them, still am. And that's how the influence of like marching band came to be for me. Not to mention that, I mean, I think I wish if people knew how hard those HBCU marching band, the amount of work and work ethic, because they're not just marching in plays.
Hmm.
They're actually having to do choreography and play and be in sync and be on time. It's like it's a lot that goes
Yeah.
into it. And, so I try to, it's very much a homage to them. Um, and as well as just, being percussive.
Yeah.
But yes, it's very much a homage to them. I actually got to work with the HBCU, um, the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Oh wow.
Uh, yeah, commissioned me to write 3 pieces for them that they performed
Oh my
at
gosh.
this. Oh my God, the festival escapes me. In Bentonville, in Bentonville, uh, their festival. I think there was a specific name, but I can't think of it right now. But yeah, they performed there, and I'd written the pieces for them, and yeah, so marching band is a really big
That's
part of
so
my
wow, that's really cool that you got to
existence.
write stuff for that must have been just such an incredible experience. Um,
Yeah, it really was. It really was working with the band and working with the band directors. I love the band directors. Um, Professor, big love to Professor John Graham. That's he's my second dad. So I still very much keep into contact with him. I share my work with him. I just did the other day. So yeah, and Dr. Chad Hughes at Morehouse College,
mhm.
yes, which is the brother school to my mother's school, Spelman, that she graduated from.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah.
There's
Hmm.
one of the high schools. So I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So I'm not far from Bentonville. It's like 2 hours away. I usually go
Okay.
there at least once or twice a year. But there's one of the high schools here, Booker T. Washington High School. Their marching band is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And anytime
Yeah.
like we hear about them doing any, like, I mean, I've gone to the Booker T. Washington football game. Like, I didn't go there or anything, just because getting to see them play at halftime.
Just to see halftime is game time.
It
That's
is.
right.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. And so when
That's
you were
right.
writing that, like writing for, we're totally getting off track from the record here, but that's okay. Um, but when
Hmm.
you were writing for, so like, because you were talking about how they're not just playing, they're not just marching, they're doing
It's a
choreo.
lot going on.
Was that
Yes.
all? Some like, did you have to take all that into consideration as you're composing these pieces for them? Like, okay, how do they do this with?
No, because they can do it. I've never, no, they can do it. They are trained to, they can do it. Whatever it is, they can do it. I don't put limitations for something like that, especially with no, they got it. Yep, and if they'll figure out a way.
That's awesome. Well, I'm gonna. Gosh, that's just so cool. That's that. Yeah, I'm really excited about that, and I didn't even get to do it, but I'm just excited that I love stuff like that. Um, well, okay, we have a connection here. Let's get into the meat of this because this is um, yeah, but the record is out March 22nd. Everybody needs to go listen to it because it's awesome, and the collaborations on it are wonderful. And I was going to talk to you about collaborations, but we'll get to it in here somewhere. So, um, as always like to start with what is the first song that you remember?
It was Luther Vandross. I think that's what I said. I think that was the first song that I can remember. I think it was either it wasn't Never Too Much. It might have been Searching, or I'm trying to think, what was it? No shit, I don't know. What did I tell you it was? Because that's what
Well, you told me Never Too Much.
it was. Never Too Much. Okay. Because I
Yeah.
was like, that's actually the first song that I can consciously remember. Because my mother used to play that song all the time. She played that record with that song all the
Oh,
time.
wow.
So I was like, say, gotta be Never Too Much. Because I was like, what did I tell you? I knew it was Luther though. That I knew. I knew it was Luther.
Yeah, I love this song. I love Luther. I don't
Same.
know. I think he's like one of my favorite singers ever. And I sometimes like his voice. To me, it's like so powerful and smooth, but there's like this effortlessness to it, which it's not effort. Like he's so talented and there's so much work that goes into it. But it just feels like it just flows from this other place or something. I love it so much.
Yeah, it's the clarity in his voice.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So you grew up. So was there, like you said, your mom listened to Luther all the time?
Yeah, so that's like what I could consciously remember. Yeah, listening to Luther records. Um, listening to Luther, Bootsy Collins.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
I didn't name Bootsy, but yeah, Bootsy Collins. Sure. Yes.
Was there a lot of was music always kind of around and in the house like growing up when you were?
Yes. Very heavy. Yeah, we listen to music after church on Sunday. We would come home and yeah, like dance to records on Sunday after church, listen to records while we were cleaning up the house on that's just a black thing to do. Listen to records while cleaning up your house on like Saturday or Friday night. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that's just like so record music was always a part. Then my dad is a big jazz head, so he
Oh
loves jazz.
wow.
So that was that. And then my mom has a more of a she took music appreciation. She has like a broad, like she listens to a lot of things. But yeah, I grew up in that my dad loves percussive music as well. Like he loves he loves Tito Puente. Like so I definitely
Oh
grew up
wow.
in that really heavy. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
Mm.
fantastic. Yeah, I was really excited when you picked Luther. And I didn't even think I realized that this was like his debut solo song. Like this was the
Yeah,
first
that was
thing.
the debut. Yeah, that was the debut solo song. Yeah, because he used to be in this group called The Change.
Mhm.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is just like I don't know, coming out of the gates swinging with this is your first
Oh yeah, yeah,
solo
yeah.
song.
Like yeah, I mean his voice. I mean he would have done it anyway because of
Right.
just because of his voice alone. Like I remember my mom was telling me that she said she remembered him when he first had come out about with the first record, Never Too Much. She said that's the
Mhm.
guy from the Pepsi Cola commercials, and everybody thought he was laughing at her like he wasn't in the Pepsi Cola commercial, but what? Yeah,
he, he was at the Pepsi.
yeah,
Oh
yep.
wow, that's awesome. Well, what is the song that makes you cry, or if it doesn't make you actually cry, makes you feel like you're gonna, kind of makes you feel that way?
Oh, Sade Pearls.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, Pearls
I
for
think
sure.
I this is like one of the I think this is like one of the greatest songs ever written. This is
Yeah, yeah.
I feel I feel like the lyrics and
The
combine the way it
lyrics.
combines with the music. Oh my god.
Yes, the arrangement and the lyrics. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, that was such a heart, that was a soul felt song, which is why
Mm-hmm.
I have to be in the mood to listen to that, because I can't just listen to that at any given time. Like that is that, yeah, that's a very powerful song.
Yeah, I always feel, and I was thinking, I was listening to it because I hadn't listened to it in a minute. Because, like you said, it's like this isn't a song you can just put on just to,
Right.
you
Like
know.
that. No.
But just like kind of listening to it and the sort of the message of it and how, like,
Mm-hmm.
this is written what, in the early '90s. This feels just
Early,
as
yeah.
pertinent and poignant in
It is,
2024.
it still applies right now. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah. I love Sade. Oh, love
Yeah,
Sade so
that's my
much.
favorite. Yeah, that's my
Um,
favorite. Yeah.
yeah, one of the best to ever do it.
Yep. Hands down.
um, well, what on the flip side? What's something that always puts you in a better mood?
I think something that is something actually that is something that changes. It was something like
Yeah.
that. That is never the same song. Like right now, I would say right now, what puts me in the better mood, if I hear Curtis Mayfield's "Give Me Your Love," I'm in a good space.
Oh.
Or I think it's the Stylistics, "Hurry Up This Way Again." It makes me happy.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um. God, that Curtis Mayfield. That's one of those songs. Like, I can just think about it, and it makes me. I don't even have to hear it. I just think about it. I feel
Yeah.
like it makes me feel.
Yeah.
Um. You all. You also mentioned in your list, like, and I'm gonna pronounce this wrong because I'm just used to reading it, but Amapiano, the South Africans.
Yeah.
Um,
Piano music.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love that stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that was sort of a semi-recent discovery to me in the last couple of years is when I first learned about it.
Yeah.
Um,
Antonio.
and
Yeah.
yeah, that's it. See,
Mm.
I'm used to seeing it, and I know it's the hard thing about doing podcasts is I'm used to reading things, and then I got to say it out loud, and I'm like, oh shoot, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Um, but yeah, is there something like what I'm curious, like what it is that draws you to that music too, specifically?
Oh, it's a soul. It's a soul. It's just it's a soulful. It's very soulful. It's very familiar to me, especially being a melanated woman. Um, just being melanated. It's just something that touches me. It grabs me immediately. It's something it's like very familiar to me, even though it's something new to me, but it's also very familiar to me all at the same time. I recognize it. I recognize
Yeah,
it very well. Yeah.
I I feel like it's like the last couple of years, like with that, and I started learning a lot more about like South African jazz and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and God, there's just yeah, a lot of great music from that part, like from South Africa that
Mm-hmm.
I don't think enough people know about.
Yeah. Yep. West too.
um, yeah, I mean, that's one of the, like I try to like whenever I'm writing about stuff or whatever you look at, and I saw somebody I knew did like a study on this, and they were looking at Bandcamp in specific, but like how 90% of the music was covered was from North America and like the UK,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that's I don't know. I try really like I'm always I want to find this. I want to hear the stuff that is from, like you said, like yeah, South Africa, West Africa, like
Mm-hmm.
Southeast Asia, South America. Um, I just think there's so much amazing music all over the place that gets missed, and it bums me out. But
Oh yeah, definitely. It's
I don't know if that has
definitely.
to do with anything.
I mean, I agree with you. A lot of music is missed, especially because you have North America, and yeah, like the UK, and they're kind of like like what's in the forefront. But yeah, a lot of music gets missed because yeah, a whole lot.
Yeah. Um, Well, this next question, I always this is the one that always drives people up a wall. But what is objectively the greatest song of all time? And I know you don't actually have an answer to this, but I like always hearing how people think about this, and you know.
The objectively the greatest song of all time is the one that's not written yet.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Mm.
And I also like, because I put a little thing underneath this that says, like, what if an alien showed up and you wanted to show them the height of sonic achievement, what would it be? And I love that your answer was that you wouldn't show them anything. You would want to talk to them and ask them questions.
Yes. Yeah, I absolutely. I don't this is not that's not about me then. I feel like no, that's a learning moment, not a let me show you my accolades moment.
What would you ask them?
I would ask them to show me advise them to ask them to advise me on, what's the best way to master myself.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that. Okay. Well, what is the song that you used to love, but now when you think about it, you heard it recently, you don't love it as much anymore? Doesn't quite do it for you.
I feel like I picked my record on this.
You did.
I was
Yeah,
saying
you picked
was it God, what did I pick? It probably was it So High or
it was no, that comes up later. This one you picked Bite Styles.
oh yeah, oh God, yeah, no, if I never heard that again, the happiest. Every time I accidentally go to play it, it makes me cringe. Yes. Yeah.
Is that I always is that like do you feel that is that like a so I don't know. I know a lot of artists who's like once they finish something and release it, they I mean, obviously, you go out, you play it and stuff, but like they don't want to really hear it anymore.
Oh
Is
yeah,
that like a common thing for you, or is that just like
that is me to a T. I'm there right now. To be with you, like I know the promotion part is important, but I'm there right now. I can't lie. I wouldn't lie to you. No, I'm there right now.
okay?
I'm
So
like that.
when you've got like
Yeah.
you got a bunch of shows coming up. Are you playing stuff from the record, or are you playing just like what are your sets going to be like?
Oh, it'll be a mix of things. Like it's not going to just be that. It won't just be Akoma. As much as I love it, I'm trying not to hate it. So the goal is for me not to not like this record for me. So because I do love it and I enjoyed creating it so much, and it would really suck that I hated this record before starting the tour. So yeah, as a matter of fact, I have a Bandcamp listening party today at 2 p.m. So it's like, yeah, like, but for the tour, no, I'm going to be playing, the record with other things, just surprising myself so that it's never, yeah. Because when you spend so much time with something and it's finished, going back and revisiting it over and over and over and over again is badgering, and it can be agitating.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's such an interesting process we have with all these things. I mean, you spend all this time working on a record, and then I mean, I'm guessing you finished the record a while ago because of just the process, and then you get to talk about it for months, like, and then
but
you got to, yeah,
But you discover different things about it every time you talk. So that's nice. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't want to like just
Mm-hmm.
sound like a mean person about my music, but it's, because I respect the fact that so many, like I wrote it, but a lot of people have put so much time into helping this come
Mm-hmm.
out, and I greatly appreciate it. But on the human side, of the human nature side, it would be a lie to say that it's not agitating to talk about the same thing over and over and over again. Yeah. So that's
Right.
just, but that comes with the territory of what you do. So it's not
Yeah.
like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I can't do it. Yeah, absolutely I can. But that's just the
Right.
human. Yeah, that's human nature. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, well, I think it's, I don't know. I think it's important sort of sometimes to talk about because I think a lot of times it feels like, and again, like for me, I get to do this podcast and write about music, and I feel very lucky that I get to do these things. But
Yeah,
also,
absolutely.
like,
Yeah,
but there's also parts of it that are, not. It's not all glamorous and fun and games.
exactly. Exactly. And that's the part. I mean, that's the being realistic part. It's not all fun and games. It's not, I mean, depending on what mood you in and how your day started out,
Mm.
it can be, yeah. So I mean, and that again, that goes back to, that's just the transparency, my transparency of being, I mean, being realistic, and like with anything though. But it's very, I'm very, happy to do it, and I love to see like when people's faces light up when they hear it. I love that, so you it makes me, I'm very
Yeah,
grateful. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. That's all. Um, okay, for this next question, I'm going to change it up a bit because you didn't really have an answer, and that's totally, totally legit. But one of the things you said is that you love any Sade track, and you've already said you love Sade. I'm just going to ask you, like, what is it about Sade that you just love so much?
Well, Sade and her band, they're so ahead of their time. They are very, it is, they are very spiritually tapped into themselves. They are intuitive with each other. It comes through their music. The vulnerability, you hear their constant
Mm,
strive for evolution within themselves, and I love that. I do, and it comes through in their work, and how, and the end result, and their production, the lyrics, all of those things. That's why, you know a Sade record is not something you can pump out every year. It takes time. It takes
mhm.
as much time as it takes, and I respect them for taking that time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yep.
is beautifully put. I think too, like one of the words you use there, vulnerability. I think is one like there, and how I can't even imagine what it takes to make one of those records. Like how much it would take out of a person to put
Mhm.
all of that into a record like that, and
Mhm.
it's like you said, it takes a long time.
Yeah, it takes time.
Um,
It's not an assembly line production. No.
yes. Um, well, I just wanted to ask because I love Sade too, and so anytime I can talk about Sade is a good day. Um, all right, switching this up totally. Although many people have answered with Sade songs for this next question, but what is the most romantic song or your favorite romantic song or love song in this moment?
I'll write a song for you. Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So while we're on the subject of Earth, Wind, and Fire, because the next question is what song changed your perspective on an artist? Um, which you also picked an Earth, Wind, and Fire song, Fantasy.
Fantasy. Yeah.
Um, I I'm curious. Like, can you tell me more about when, how did it change your perspective on them, and when, did you hear
I
that?
heard for the first time
Like,
for
when did you hear that? And,
Yeah. I mean, I've heard it all throughout my life as a kid, but I heard it for the first
mm-hmm,
time. Um, probably at the in like somewhere in 2000, late 2008, early 2009. And then I went and watched an interview
mm-hmm,
with them talking about, I was listening to Maurice White talk about their production and how they write a song, and how they put things together, and why, they are asking him about, why, how did Earth, Wind, and Fire get started? And he said, it was started out of a need. And I, when he said that, I just totally related. It started out of a need. I feel that it was a sound. It was a needed sound for this, for not only the their time back then, for right now, for future, the timeless music. And it was a need, because there was they, only they could do this. So that this was this was predestined and chosen, and this was already in alignment before it got started. So I totally understood what he was saying. And so you can, if you look at all their album covers, they all they all tell a story that with their spirituality, which I actually myself have a lot of those practices as well. So it's about, tapping, like Earth, Wind, and Fire. You can hear, I mean, just in the arrangement alone, and it is about very much tapping into yourself, trying to pull that out because it's there. And most people, a lot of times when it's time to go in to pull out, most people get very afraid, and they either don't do it or they don't finish the job. So going in to push that out, when you do it, it is as exhausting as it is exhilarating. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think this goes back to what we were talking about with Sade. Like, there's a vulnerability is another word that to go in and, like you said, pull that out and like put that out there.
And
that could be a really scary thing to do, I think.
Yeah. Yes. All the time. I feel that, but my mother told me, she said, if you're afraid to do it, that's exactly what you should be doing. So, yeah.
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 Yeah. That's one of the things that we always, like, I talk to my daughter about. It's like when we talk about being brave or whatever. It's like, yeah, you're scared and you acknowledge you're scared, and then you do it anyway.
And then you
That's
do it
like,
anyway. Yep. And will you make the leap every time? No. Sometimes you'll fall. Sometimes you'll barely make it. Sometimes you'll make it clean, but you do it, but jump anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love Earth, Wind, and Fire, and this is the first time they've come up on here, which surprises me because I think they're so incredible. But and I'll Write a Song for You is such a beautiful song. There's so many lyrics in it that are just so. Whew. That's a feeling that I want to have.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Like, now that is a song that will, definitely, that can make me cry, but in a good way.
Yes, that's like beautiful, happy, happy cry. Maybe, I don't know. Happy feels like the wrong word. It doesn't feel strong.
No, it's not. I think it's an understanding. When you understand those lyrics, there's another set of lyrics that I heard. I've been hearing the song my whole life, but I heard the lyrics for real. Was and Rick James is the one who wrote it, but Teena Marie's Deja Vu. When I actually listened to the lyrics, I was like, oh God. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard it for
well, okay. I'm gonna jump ahead here. We're going off script, and that's all good because you had this on there for like the song. I think it was the one you most recently fell in love with. Was the Teena Marie
Deja Vu? Yeah, yeah,
yeah. The lyrics are amazing. I don't even know. I went back. I was reading them this week. I knew the song, but I don't think I'd really closely paid attention to the words or read the words. It was just like,
yeah,
mind blowing.
Yeah.
Once I was a white gazelle on horseback, riding free, searching in the darkness for a piece of me. I was, oh my God.
Yep, I've been there. Yeah.
Yeah. I really love this whole Teena Marie album. I think I was listening to it, and it's like, I love that it's 6 songs and it's like 40 minutes long. Like, all the songs are like 7-8 minutes, and they really just feel.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know. They feel so like they're their own worlds or something.
Yeah, I love I love that Rick James heard her when nobody else would give her a shot. And
Yeah.
Rick, he heard her. He heard her voice. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's got a hell of a voice. Whew.
Yes, she does. Yeah. And he heard it because everybody else was kind of like, what do we do? She has a voice, we know it, but what do we do?
Yeah.
It was like, I got it. And yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a cool record too, and all the like instrumentation on like the production on it, it's so wonderful. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Um okay, I've lost track of where we are. Oh, well, we're talking about lyrics. What are your favorite lyrics?
Um, strawberry letter 23. Just
Oh.
yeah, that is
Is there
one.
uh-huh.
There's one, but my favorite lyric is what I love the way Strawberry Letter 23 said, hello, my love. I heard a kiss from you. I love that.
Oh, I
That is,
love that.
I love that. But then Shargo um is my favorite. Two little stars sit right by each other. One of the stars shines brighter than the other. Both of the stars bring the world so much color. Too bad the two stars envy one another. That's the way. That's the world.
That's that's the
Yeah,
world.
that is the
That's
world.
I love
Everybody,
that.
the insecurity of you worrying about your star not shining brighter than someone else's, but somebody else's journey may be different from yours.
Yeah,
So yeah, yeah,
I love that. I
yeah.
I
It's-
and it's such a and just the whole song, like in the way I love the lyrics. I love the just way that it's like the production of it and the way it's like the vocals are set with the music and like it. I feel
Mhm.
like that just it really heightens that message in a way.
Yeah, the way that it was set up, the from the intro to the very end. Yeah, and then the intro.
Mhm.
I mean, then the end does this twist. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yes.
really would
Uh,
love to. I would love to work with them at some point. Yeah,
oh, that'd be cool.
yeah.
Are are like how are lyrics a big thing for you? Like obviously a lot of
Yeah,
you know.
I'm cognizant about things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um I'm getting more cognizant, especially now about things that what I say because your words are powerful. So I'm
Mhm.
cognizant about
Yeah. Well, I was I had this is a song I hadn't thought about in a while, and as soon as I saw even like saw on your list, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, the yeah, beautiful. Okay, well, we already did one of these questions, so I'm gonna skip over what is the song that you have or can listen to the most?
um probably mm, that's another question. That's another song. That's another question that would change for me. But um was it Curtis Mayfield?
No, it was a Sade song.
It was a Sade. Oh, Slave was it? No, it's either Lovers Rock or Slave Song.
Actually, it was Every Word.
It's every word. Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
yes.
Like if you really just put her on though,
I
I can just put her straight through. It doesn't matter what the was, but every word is the lyrics to that song. I was like, dang.
yes.
People, I was like, you had to be in a real heartbreak to write this.
Uh-huh.
It was so
It is.
vulnerable. That's a very
I
vulnerable. Yeah,
know.
every word is definitely. Yeah, but Slave Song is right up there with. That was a tough one. I was battling that question. I was like, damn, is it Slave Song or every word that I want to put? So yeah, every word is one. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Is like I'm kind of this like with Sade, especially. I mean, like I said, I'm an album person, so I
Hmm.
probably just put on. Do you have a favorite Sade album? Can you pick
Love
a favorite?
Lovers Rock.
Same. That's
Lovers Rock. Hands down. Hands down. Lovers Rock. Now don't get me wrong. Uh Diamond Life and Soldier of Love are they right in there, but Lovers Rock
yeah,
just I can't get past that one. Having
yeah.
King of Sorrow and Every Word and Slave Song on the same record. Um yeah. I couldn't shake it. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I mean, those are 3 songs that anybody would feel like if you wrote those in a lifetime, you'd be like, "Oh my god, these 3 I wrote," and they put them on one record.
And that record, right? Exactly. I was just like, oh, okay, wow, what a flex.
Yeah.
What a flex.
What a
And
flex.
they weren't trying to. That's the beauty about it. It wasn't they weren't trying to. It's just, but damn, what a flex. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's another one of those, like, I mean, it came out, what, like 25 years ago or something? I think I can't remember what exactly year it came out.
Yeah.
And it still sounds, it could have come out yesterday.
It could have came out yesterday. Exactly. That's why timeless music. It could have came out. Diamond Life could have came out yesterday.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like 40 years old or something.
Yeah.
God.
1984. Yeah.
Dang. That is 40. Holy we are in the 40-year anniversary of Diamond. Well, that is, hey, there's a good thing about 2024.
Exactly.
We might be searching for them later this year, but we found that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what is the song that means the most to you? Here's the spoiler. You actually didn't pick one.
Okay, because I was like, I can't even pick no shit like that. No, that doesn't sound. I was like, I can't pick one. Like what? Like that? My mood switch is way too much. Because I was like, no. I will say someone who is a staple for me. I'll say this because this was not a question, but I'll say this. Mm-hmm. When I do compose music, when I think of movement, the woman who comes out to me in my head the most, who I would do everything that I can in my power. I wish she was alive. Because that is somebody who also, if she were here, I would love to run my music past all the time. But I try to design my music after the way her body moves and the way she is and her spontaneity and that is Eartha Kitt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I try to do everything I can to move around. Yeah.
Yes. I think that's really, that's movement is like, that's something I think about, like with music a lot, like hearing not in the sense that like it makes me want to move, but just hearing like music that feels like it is moving. Like,
yeah, music that feels like it's moving. Yeah, exactly.
And that's that, like you saying that, I'm like, okay, this, like, I feel like that's why I like doing this podcast, because I feel like things, it's like, oh, something just clicked in my brain with like listening.
Yeah.
So that's cool. All right, well, we've come to the last question, and so in this moment in time here in mid-March 2024, what is your favorite song?
Have I said it already?
No.
Okay. Did I have an answer?
You did have an answer for this one.
I had an answer. Oh shit.
It might. People have called this like the greatest disco song of all time. I don't know if that helps. I can just tell you what it is.
Right.
It's Le Freak.
Oh God, yes. Nile Rodgers and Chic. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That's where I'm at right now. Yes. Yes. Nile Rodgers and Chic. Yes. Yes, that's what I'm at right now in my mind. Yes.
See, this is another one. I think you could make a pretty compelling case. This is like the greatest song ever. Like,
yeah, this is. I mean, it's pretty up there. But yeah, I Nile Rodgers is a genius. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. Speaking of somebody who like, he's still like, we still haven't caught up with Nile Rodgers.
Like, he's still doing this. Like he's probably sitting somewhere right now writing a song. Right.
Yeah, he's like doing something on a guitar that nobody's ever thought to do.
That nobody's ever thought to do, and then he'll send it to like 18 people and be like, "Hey, what do you think?" And then bam, right. He probably can do that same song 18 different ways too. So like Nile Rodgers. Oh my God, yeah, Le Freak is that's my track. Yeah.
Have you seen the documentary How to Make It in the Music Business, where he talks about this song and like how it was originally called
How
"Fuck
it was-
Off."
It's out of yeah.
I love that.
Yes. I was like, God, that's how you do it. Yes.
I know.
That is
Yeah.
how you do it. Yes.
Oh my god. It's I love there was so in Tulsa we have the Woody Guthrie Center. So it's like got all his archives and stuff. But they did I guess it was like last summer, they did an exhibit on disco, which was it was really cool, and it was really interesting, I mean, I don't need to tell you, like, the way people have treated disco music for so long was is such bullshit. But it was really cool. Like when I went and saw it, just seeing, because like the crowd that goes to the Woody Guthrie Center is typically, I mean, like people like my parents, and just seeing like their reaction to this disco exhibit was really like, I think it opened a lot of people's eyes, which was really good. But then a lot of people were just like, "What the fuck is disco music doing to the Woody Guthrie?" It's like, hell yeah, disco should be at the Woody Guthrie Center. Like, if you're gonna, I don't know. It's really, anyway. This just made me think of that because there was a whole thing on this song, like that had like, pictures and quotes about this song, and when I saw it last, I don't know if that has to do with anything. It just made me think of that. But this is such a great song. I love this song.
Yeah.
And I just want to go dance to it now. But
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Well, this was a lot of fun. We made it through with technical difficulties.
Thank you.
Once people hear this, the record is out, and once this is out, I think you'll be on tour in Europe. We're getting ready to start your European tour. So
probably so. Yeah.
So good luck with
Thank
that.
you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And thank you for doing this.
No problem. Thank you.
Once again, a million thanks to JLIN for taking the time out. Go listen to Akoma if you haven't heard it yet. Pick up a copy and go see her on one of these upcoming dates if she's going to be playing near you, or if she's not, travel, go there. I don't know. But yeah, this is awesome, and what a record! What a record! You can hear her picks on playlist, link in the show notes. All the information on the record, the tour, anything you need. Just look at the show notes. You'll find what you need. That is it for me this week. You can, of course, find me on social media at Foxy Digitalis. Join our Patreon. You get these episodes a week early, and you get a little extra conversation. And it just helps keep this thing going and growing. And yeah. Otherwise, until next time, keep on listening to whatever the hell you want.